you can't really look at it without the kind of the overall kind of view of building authority, which includes, the ideal client, your niche, because that revolution, right, is about talking to them, both helping you identify them and helping them identify you. And so in the same way that people may have some fear of niching, do they have a fear of having a revolution, or stating a revolution, starting a revolution, having a big idea? Like, will that turn off some of, potential clients? How do they deal with that?
Well, yeah, it's a really good question, and I've got plenty of stories on either side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, especially in the services businesses, where they have a very strong service idea, and they have no trouble grabbing onto this idea of a revolution.
Mm,
Sometimes what they have trouble with is narrowing it to who they actually want to serve. Oh, I
mm,
want the best design on the planet. Well, the best
mm,
design for who? Like, who are
mm,
you actually going to serve? So there's that piece. Um, I think that the other there is a huge fear for niching, and in fact, when I wrote the book, I kept thinking, which chapter goes first? Do I do niching first, or do I do ideal clients and buyers? And I put the clients and buyers first because the question I ask about them is who energizes and inspires you.
mm,
And when you start with that revolution, so what's the mission that inspires you? And then who are the people that you want to help, that, you're excited about serving them because you're going to
mm.
have tough days. Let's make this about what the mark we really want to leave on the planet.
Right.
And when you get to that, then the niching becomes a little bit easier, right? Because you have your area of expertise. And so then you have to
Mm,
figure out, all right, what is this revolution? Who are my ideal clients and buyers, or clients or buyers, depending on what you're offering? And then how do I actually apply the services, the things that I'm good at, to help them get to this revolutionary
mm.
state? Yeah.
Got it. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I will confess, I mean, you know, had kind of this overall, revolution, I guess. We'll decide if it's a revolution point of view. Wealth in the hands of women can change the world. And I struggled a lot with the idea of like, well, am I saying that men ruin the world? But I'm not. But I really struggled with that. Like, is
Hmm.
that kind of too negative, kind of on the inverse side? And but I think yeah, I mean, being pro something doesn't make you anti something else. So,
What you just described is the classic challenge of
yeah.
niching,
Hmm.
right? It's
Hmm.
like, who are we saying no? Now you're it's interesting because the way you phrased that was, am I being anti? What
Hmm.
other people will say is, oh, but that means I can't serve these other people, but they're some
Hmm.
of my clients. So it's
Hmm.
more fear based,
Hmm. Right.
right? Yeah. And so I think that's what happens when we take a stand,
Hmm.
when we
Yeah.
niche.